So as a recap, Missing Link was canceled, Square Enix sent out an apology, I cried, and then we got Kingdom Hearts 4 screenshots, which is just as good. We haven't had news in 3 years, so I'll take literally anything at this point. Now, I'm gonna dive into what I think these screenshots mean, what I believe they mean, and again, this is all opinion. So if you don't like it, you can click the pause button and the back button and probably just leave, or you can hear me out. Now, I also am going to talk this through in an odd order. I'm not going to go top to bottom. I'm going to start with the bottom left image and work my way up. Now, starting there, we have our best friend, Darkside. Darkside helps us through all tutorials. He helps us understand how to attack and how to use our weapon. So I'm not surprised that he's showing up here. He also showed up in most of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer for all those that watched it 3 years ago. So again, I'm not surprised that he's here, but what's important isn't him. It's what's in front of him. So there are two orbs flying towards him. One is blue, one is a yellowy red color. Now, what I personally believe this is going to be two people flying towards him to attack. I believe it is Riku and Yozora. I believe it is Riku and Yozora because both of them are present in Quadratum during the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret ending. They show Sora looking around very lost, sightseeing, and then they show Riku walking past the Tokyo Metropolitan Building with Yozora sitting on top of it, dangling his legs off the edge. Yozora also has blue and red eyes. Now, I believe that this is Yozora, or part of Yozora. So having blue and red orbs, so to speak, and a character that has blue and red eyes, it kind of just matches up to me. I'll also get into why I believe it's Yozora, a little bit more about Quadratum later this video, in the whole Tokyo Metropolitan piece, and why I believe that's that. Now, in the middle, you have Sora. He is walking underneath what seems to be a bridge. It looks like an underpath. You can tell by if you zoom in, you can see a break in the ceiling. You can also see some traffic lights, a bunch of cars, a ton of dust being dug up, right? So overall, I think there's an event happening in front of him that is causing all of this dust to come up and unsettle. And I believe it is somebody coming to fight Darkside or something along those lines. He obviously sees Darkside through his window with Strelitzia during the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, so I'm assuming this is the start of the game. This happens, you're like, oh boy, Darkside, let me get a piece of that action. You go downstairs and you fuck shit up. Now, they then show Sora as beautiful as can be. This man's face is handsome. He has actual hair follicles this time. And we haven't seen him look like this outside of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret ending cinematics, and sometimes, and I'll even say this with a caveat, sometimes in the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I say that because he looks very realistic in that world typically because it is based on live action. So again, that's really when we see him look like this, void of the large clunky boots, the big outfit. He looks very humanoid in this stance and he has normal everyday clothes on and what look to be Converse. So rock on, Sora, rock on. Now, I'm very excited for his appearance, but I'm also excited for what that could mean. Now, that could mean that in Quadratum, he looks realistic because there are real people. It could also mean that as he travels from Quadratum to a Disney entity, he starts to change his appearance as always to fit the build of that Disney entity. Now, based on the fight scene, he looks hyper-realistic there as well. I'm wondering if either the whole game he's going to look like this or like Pirates of the Caribbean, just in that world. Though people did spot in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer some form of Star Wars robot, etc., etc. I don't know too much about Star Wars, but somebody spotted a foot of some type of robot in the water that looked like it could be from Endor. I might have that wrong. Now, if that's the case, you could see Star Wars in this. We could see the likes of Spider-Man in this. We're already in a city, so I don't see them putting two cities like this in one game. It just seems a little outlandish, unless that's their goal, is to keep this realism. Now, again, this is a fantasy based on a reality, which I'll get into, but more or less the reality being Shibuya and the fantasy being Quadratum. And again, I'll talk more about this. Now, you see Strelitzia in the middle left. Now, Strelitzia is not new. So for people who are like, who is this girl? She's brand new. No, she's not. She's been around the block and back. She's actually dead. So she was part of Union Cross. She was one of the 5 Keyblade wielders that were selected to fight in the Keyblade War, but she died and she was replaced. Now, she was technically killed by the darkness from Ventus. Ventus's darkness killed her. It came out of him. That sounds absolutely disgusting. Murdered her. She laid on the floor. Her little puppet friend helped her out. But she's dead. So to me, the only explanation is we're in some form of afterworld or afterlife. And again, we're not new to this term in Kingdom Hearts. Sora is constantly locked between worlds.
The edges of sleep and death touch, and one can't help the occasional crossover.
Now, if this is some form of afterworld or afterlife, it might make sense with the power of waking, and then Sora then used said power. He then deserves to technically die. But why is Riku there and why is Yozora there? And Yozora technically doesn't have a life because he's just a video game character, so we thought, until we saw the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC secret ending. Now, She also is the sister of Marluxia, which I don't know if that plays a role into anything, but to me I find that quite interesting because at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously the organization members died or disappeared, but Marluxia's sister's involved in this one, and Yozora has a driver that sounds exactly like Luxord. So are they all present again, and are they all now in this world? Remains to be seen. But I do know that she's around. And she's helping Sora, and I don't know why. Now, you have a 1960s, 1970s rotary phone in the middle. I don't think this plays much of significance other than you probably get a call in the beginning from somebody or at some point on this phone, obviously. It's not a period piece, so they're obviously not just making a nod to the 70s, but it's also not going to be our gummy phone or anything like that. So what the purpose is, I don't exactly know. Maybe it has to do with Strelitzia calling Mickey, and it's as simple as that, because Mickey's on the right. So talking about Mickey, where is Mickey? Mickey is clearly in Scala at Caelum. Why do I say that? Because in Melody of Memory, Yen Sid sends Mickey on a quest to research the Kingdom Hearts Keyblade Masters.
I task you with the investigation of this new world, and how it is related to the ancient Keyblade Masters.
And with that said, he then sent him to Scala ad Caelum.
You'll begin in the world of Scala ad Caelum.
So it's pretty simple that that's probably where he is. He also has one item in his HUD, which is attack. He can't use items, he can't use abilities, he can just attack and traverse. I'm wondering if this is going to be more of a nod to his current games where it's mostly 3D platforming. I would love to see some more 3D platforming. I love 3D platforming. I also love the battle schematics of Kingdom Hearts. So if we can bring back some of those entities, I thought Kingdom Hearts 3 was absolute perfection. So add some extra 3D platforming in there and it would be golden. Now, the other aspect of Mickey is, he is, yes, looking for information on the Keyblade Masters, but he probably isn't looking for Sora right now because I believe Riku is looking for Sora, Kairi is with Aqua training, which leaves Mickey available to do quests for Yen Sid. Now that might play a role later. Maybe we get to play as Mickey in a greater capacity, which would be exciting. I know back in Kingdom Hearts 3, he made an appearance. He also made an appearance, obviously, in Birth by Sleep as well. There's a lot of areas that Mickey has been around the block and back, but we don't get to play as him that frequently. Now, moving up to the very top of this, you have the fight scenes of Sora. I'm not going to get into the Heartless aspect of it because there's just too much there, but more or less there's Heartless. Surprise, surprise. You can tell because their heart is missing. They don't have the typical logo. However, that logo really only shows up in Disney entities or Disney worlds. We don't usually see that in the likes of, let's say, Traverse Town. Now, when he's in Quadratum, again, Sora looks very lifelike. As I said earlier, this is a fantasy based on a reality. And where is he? He is right in front of Shibuya Crossing. You can see the crossing lines on the ground. You can see the building behind him. That is one of the crossing areas. You also know, based on previous history with Kingdom Hearts, that Shibuya shows up as the 104 building, which is actually the 109 building. That also shows in The World Ends With You. And then last but not least, you have the Tokyo Metropolitan, which, like I said, Riku walks past and Yozora is sitting on top of it at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. I know I'm mentioning Kingdom Hearts 3 a lot. You're probably rolling your eyes, but that's because most of that secret ending ties directly into what's happening now, as well as Melody of Memory. Now, with that said, we are, again, like I said, in Shibuya, so we know that, but we don't know why. We don't know why we're in Quadratum. What we do know is Yozora's world is Quadratum, but also based on that secret ending, Yozora doesn't know he's in a video game. Yozora also knows a Sora, but doesn't know this Sora, because there was a moment he talks about, what do you mean you're Sora? You're not Sora. And then Sora's like, yeah, I am, bro. Get with the picture. And that's that. So what role does Yozora play? I hope he plays as our partner in this whole game, because I would love to have him as a sidekick, because he is badass. He's also really hard to beat, but a lot of fun. If you have not tried it, I dare you to try it. It's a blast, especially on critical mode and with pro codes on. But don't tell me, don't come after me for that one, because it's very difficult. Last but not least, he has two other changes. One, you have a different menu at the bottom left. You have builds. You don't have Link. I don't see anything about summons. There's been no mention of Disney World, so I don't know if Dumbo and Tinkerbell and Simba and all of them are coming back for this game or not. You do see build, like I said. Yozora and his friends in Verum Rex in that trailer at the top of Toy Box also are able to build walls and spheres and make them shatter. I'm wondering if that has to do with this, where maybe Sora is in a new world. He gets a new ability. Who knows? We don't even know where the hell Sora even is, but it could be cool to try something new. He also has a chain. Now, this chain showed up in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer as he's traversing and fighting to get towards Darkside. I'm assuming it's going to be a weapon. I'm assuming it's going to be a traversal thing. The way that it shows in these screenshots almost reminds me of when you use Blizzaga and there's the ice on the ground and you're able to almost rail grind it. It's almost like you're doing that. There also was a moment in Kingdom Hearts 3 where you're riding on keys. in order to obviously get to the ending of the game in the Keyblade Graveyard. It almost also looks like that somewhat. Now, what the purpose of this chain is, I don't know. I hope it has something to do with Chain of Memories, or the missing link, and those chains are made with different links. So maybe there's maybe I'm just pulling, cards out of a hat. That's not a term, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe I'm pulling fish out of a bucket. None of that made sense, but you get where I'm coming from. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? We know where we are. We know what we're doing somewhat. We know that some people are involved that were in previous entities of Kingdom Hearts, but why? It all remains to be seen. We'll figure it all out in the next 10 years, I'm sure. Have a good one.